For 3,000 years there was peace in the galaxy. No wars, no invasions, no fire in space. The Galactic Council, a group of powerful alien races, kept order. Rules were made, treaties were signed, weapons were locked away. Everyone followed the peace. Even humans. Humans had joined the council as a small species, quiet, soft-spoken, always helping, always agreeing. They traded food, sent doctors, built schools, never caused trouble. The galaxy thought, humans are peaceful. They forgot how to fight. But peace is not always what it seems. On the edge of the galaxy, the Draxan Union had grown hungry. They were a proud, cruel species, strong fleets, huge armies, and no patience. They wanted more land, more control, more fear. They thought, the galaxy is too soft. No one will fight back now. We can take whatever we want. And so, the Draxan declared war. They sent a message to the council. We reject peace. We will take what belongs to us. And then they attacked a human colony called Novara 4. Novara 4 was a farming world. No weapons, no shields, just forests, rivers, and villages. The Draxan fleet arrived with 17 warships. They expected surrender. Instead, they found silence. From orbit, the planet looked quiet. No ships in the sky, no defenses, just wind and water. The Draxan laughed. They sent landing forces, thousands of soldiers in armor. They landed in the open field outside the main town. They walked forward, proud and loud. A small human girl stood at the gate. She looked at them, smiled, then disappeared inside. The commander gave the signal. Take control. They marched in. But the ground felt strange, soft, buzzing. Then, without sound, the ground opened. Metal towers rose from the earth, old, silent, dead-looking, until one of them blinked. Human defense protocol online. Testing firepower. Now. Red light flashed. 1 second. 2 seconds. Then every Draxan soldier turned into ash. No noise. No fight. Just gone. The fleet above saw it. They panicked. They tried to run. But in orbit, cloaked satellites turned on and fired. The warships didn't explode. They disappeared. Within 12 minutes, the entire Draxan fleet was destroyed. No human soldier was seen. No leader gave a speech. No warning was sent. The council was shocked. They called an emergency meeting. Screens showed burning ships, destroyed armor, and old human tech that no one had ever seen before. The Draxan ambassador screamed, "Humans are hiding weapons. This is against the rules." But the human representative only smiled, calm, slow, like he knew something no one else did. He said, "Peace is a gift. We offered it for 3,000 years, but it seems some of you forgot what humans do when peace is broken." Then he stood up, fixed his coat, and walked out of the room. Not angry, not loud, just smiling. Outside, reporters tried to speak to him. One alien asked, "Sir, are humans preparing for war now?" He looked up at the sky, his eyes calm, and said, "Prepare? No, we already did." Across the galaxy, sensors started picking up strange movements, ships rising from dead space, satellites turning on after centuries, messages between human colonies in strange encrypted codes, and somewhere, deep in a hidden part of space, voice spoke inside a human command station. "Activate Shadow Protocol. We warned them, now we remember." The 3,000-year peace was over, and humans, they weren't afraid. They were ready, and they were smiling. They thought Novara 4 was a lucky shot, a trap maybe, a surprise, but the Draxan believed it was a mistake they could fix, so they doubled their forces and attacked again. This time, they chose Sereth 9, another human colony, bigger, richer. Still, peaceful. No weapons in the air. Just forests, oceans, and calm towns. They sent 3 fleets, more than 50 warships, troop carriers, bombers, orbital cannons. The commander, Admiral Velthor, laughed as he gave the order. No more mercy. No more tests. Burn it all. The first wave dropped from orbit. Fighters roared through clouds. Drones scanned the planet. But again, they found no soldiers, no fighters, no defense towers, just birds, wind, children playing in the streets. One Draxon captain hesitated. They're not even running. Admiral Velthor smiled. Then they'll burn easier. He gave the command. Bombers loaded, missiles targeted, launchers locked. Then everything stopped. No boom, no blast, no fire. Just silence. Sir, our weapons just shut down. Sir, engines too. Sir, we can't move. Panic spread through the bridge. Screens blinked red. Controls froze. One by one, every Draxon ship went dark. On the surface, the children looked up. They didn't run. They waved. Because they knew. The air changed. The sky shimmered. And suddenly, something stepped out of nothing. It wasn't a ship, it was a shape, a design, an object not made for flight, but for finality. A human dreadnought, old, silent, buried for centuries beneath the planet's oceans, waiting. It didn't broadcast warnings. It didn't charge up. It simply turned its head toward the sky, and everything that wasn't human started falling. Draxon ships lost gravity, hulls bent, lights died, metal cracked like ice. Not from heat, but from pressure. Something invisible, focused, ancient. Admiral Velthor screamed, "What is this? Why is this happening? Where's their fleet?" The communication screen flickered, and for the first time, a human face appeared. No rank, no name, just a calm man in a dark coat. He looked directly at the Admiral and said, "This isn't war. This is a reminder." And the screen went black. One by one, the Draxon ships collapsed in the air. No fire, no smoke, just clean removal. On the ground, the town was still calm. People sipped drinks, children ate fruit, and the dreadnought lowered itself into the sea again, like it was never there. The news spread fast, a full fleet lost, not in battle. In a whisper, on Draxon command stations, fear took root. They asked, how many ships do humans really have? Why didn't they use them before? What else are they hiding? No one had answers, only guesses, only silence. Across the galaxy, other alien empires watched closely. Some turned off their war plans. Some opened old peace files, and some started moving their colonies away from human space. Quietly, on a hidden moon, inside an old human military base, a console lit up. An AI voice whispered, "Target 2, neutralized. Reaction time 0.43 seconds. Threat level insignificant. Stand by. Shadow fleets preparing next simulation." The galaxy had broken the peace. Humans had just started to stretch, and somewhere, far beyond the stars, a smile appeared again. The galaxy wanted answers. Badly. The Draxon had lost 2 fleets without a real fight. Their warships vanished, their leaders panicked, and humans still hadn't declared war. No victory speeches, no demands, no threats, just silence. And silence is what scared them most. The Galactic Council sent out spies, quiet ones. They slipped into human colonies, hacked into abandoned satellites, tried to listen through comms. But everywhere they went, they heard nothing, not because humans had nothing to say, but because they had turned it all off. On a frozen research moon called Euros 13, an alien spy named Kavax found something strange. An old comm relay. Shut down. Sealed. No activity for 2,000 years. But inside it was still warm, still humming, still alive. He bypassed the outer firewall, went deep, and found a file, not hidden, not locked, but sitting in plain view. It had one name. If they ever do it, text. He opened it, and what he saw made him drop his datapad. There were plans, maps, codes, coordinates, everything. It was a galaxy-wide grid, Human weapons, human fleets, hidden bases inside moons, deep-sea cities, asteroids filled with guns, gas clouds hiding entire stations. They weren't building armies. They were building responses. One line read, "Do not speak first. Let them fire. Let them believe. And when they do, wake the silence." Kavax ran. He sent the data to his handler. But by the time the message reached headquarters, the comm center was already dark. The station gone. He never made it off Euros 13. But his data did, and now the truth spread, slowly, quietly, but without doubt. For 3,000 years, humans didn't stop preparing. They just stopped showing. On alien news feeds, leaders argued, "Why didn't we see this? They looked so normal. We had full scans." But someone older, an ancient priest from the Vulcan race, answered with a whisper, "You were watching their smiles, not their hands." And the galaxy remembered something. Humans don't shout. They don't raise banners. They don't sing about war. They don't tell you what they're going to do. They just do it. In deep orbit, an alien warlord stared at a new human dreadnought. It had no name, no signal, just a single sentence written across its hull. We waited, and he finally understood. The humans hadn't smirked because they were arrogant. They had smirked because they had already calculated this moment. Thousands of years ago. While the galaxy held peace talks, humans ran drills. While others built monuments, humans built ships inside dead stars. And now, those ships were waking. On the edge of the neutral zone, dozens of stars blinked out on long-range sensors. They weren't gone, just blocked. By something big. By something moving. No threats came. No warnings. Just a quiet message across encrypted frequencies. "This is not a war. This is a memory. And you asked to be reminded." The first time it happened, no one noticed. Not really. Just a small alien diplomat on a neutral station, talking to a human engineer. The alien said, "You humans, you don't act like you're at war." The human just smiled. Calm, quiet, then turned back to his work. A few hours later, the station picked up strange movement near its border. Unknown ships, fast, dark, coming in hard. The council panicked. But the human didn't flinch. He tapped something on his wrist. And in less than 2 minutes, the ships were gone. "What did you do?" the alien asked. The human didn't look up. "Nothing new, just opened a drawer." After that day, the smirk spread. It showed up in meetings, on news feeds, in negotiations. Humans never raised their voice, never bragged. They just sat with that same look, like the galaxy had finally caught up to something they knew all along. One Draxan leader tried to challenge it. He screamed at a human delegate during a peace summit, threatened war, threatened death. The human didn't argue, didn't blink, just leaned in slightly and whispered, "Then you'll be remembered next." The room went quiet, and no one saw that Draxan leader again. Not dead, not captured, just replaced. The smirk spread to more humans. Pilots, miners, teachers. They didn't carry weapons in public. They didn't make speeches. They just walked like they were part of something bigger, like the silence around them was alive. Alien soldiers began to notice. Some refused to fight human forces. Others defected. One commander resigned after seeing a human fleet move through a black hole without shields. He said, "That wasn't travel, that was a message." Pirates stopped raiding human trade lanes. Black market dealers stopped selling stolen human tech. Not out of law, but out of instinct. No one wanted to be on the list. The one everyone whispered about. The one with names of systems humans hadn't visited yet, but had already marked, and behind it all, the smirk remained. It became a sign that peace wasn't weakness, that patience wasn't fear, that silence wasn't empty. A few alien empires tried to copy it. They trained their officers to stand still, smile quietly, use soft language. But it didn't work, because they didn't understand what powered the human. Smirk. It wasn't a pose, it was preparation. 1,000 years of it. Hidden, layered. Patient. On one border world, a group of young alien cadets asked their old war teacher, "Why do they smirk?" He looked at the sky, then down at the ground, then said, softly, "Because they are the only ones who waited this long without blinking." In the shadows of uncharted space, massive human ships moved between stars like ghosts. Each one bore no flags, no names, just a small mark near the front. Peace, offered, response, received, status, adjusting, and the galaxy watched them pass. Not with fear, but with respect, born from silence. It started with a blink, on a moon no one remembered, orbiting a dead star no one cared about. A blinking red light. Slow, steady, silent. Then a voice, calm, human, ancient, spoke. Code Omega 3. 3,000-year peace broken. Reaction, authorized. Across the galaxy they woke not soldiers, not fleets, but systems. Machines older than most civilizations. Stations built under planets. Ships carved inside frozen asteroids. Archives hidden inside black hole event horizons. And every single one had been waiting for this moment. Protocols written in forgotten languages activated. Sealed hangars opened. AI minds came online. They didn't ask for permission, they just ran their orders. Defense Grid 79 preparing orbit shift cannon. Colony Core Echo 1. Rebuilding tactical fleet. Arc 7. Message unlocked. Hello, old friend. Aliens who had lived near human space for centuries started seeing lights in the dark. Not stars, not beacons, but engines. Engines from ships that didn't exist on any map. In the Zion Quadrant, a mining station collapsed. Into itself, not from attack, but because it had been hiding something bigger. Inside the wreckage rose a black ship, smooth, quiet, bearing a code burned into its side. ELS Retribution, initiated 1104 AC. In the Galactic Council, panic turned to silence. Every leader now had one question. How much did humans hide? The answer? More than you feared, and less than they wanted. On a human base orbiting Saturn, an old general stood before a frozen door. He held a key. Real. Metal, carved with words. If they forget, you remember. He turned the key. The door opened, and the signal spread. Planet by planet, sector by sector, Human Contingency Command came online. On the surface, nothing changed. No flags were raised, no armies marched. But under the ground, above the clouds, between the stars, the galaxy was shifting. Alien empires scanned, searched, panicked. But most of what they found was already moving. The Draxan tried to strike first again. They sent a fleet to intercept an unknown object in the Loris field. They never returned. Just one message reached back. You are approaching Project Mirrorvale. Please return. This is your only warning. They didn't return. They didn't get a second warning. On neutral planets, old human buildings changed shape. Walls shifted. Floors unlocked. Long tables turned into command interfaces. Humans didn't say a word. They just walked in and sat where they always belonged. A historian on the alien world Marvel has found a buried datapad deep in ancient ruins. He wiped off the dust, played the file, and a human voice from over 2,500 years ago whispered, "They will call us quiet. They will call us weak, until they forget who taught them peace. Then they will remember." And now, they were remembering. The galaxy was no longer asking, "What can humans do?" They were now whispering, "What won't they do?" And above all, the movement, all the systems, all the reactivated protocols. One message echoed across encrypted human channels. We offered peace. You broke it. We do not rage. We respond. The Great Hall of the Galactic Council had never been so quiet. 12 high seats, 12 empires, each one once proud, loud, and full of opinions. Now, they waited, hands folded, backs straight, eyes forward, like students before a teacher, and the teacher was late. The human delegation arrived exactly 44 minutes after the start time. Not rushed, not apologetic, just walking. Slow, measured, 6 steps behind their lead, Ambassador Ellen Frost. No medals, no weapons, just a plain black uniform with a silver line down the middle. He didn't bow, didn't wave. He simply sat. No one said a word, until the council chair, a creature with 6 eyes and too many rings, finally spoke. Ambassador Frost, thank you for coming. The human tilted his head. Small, polite, but didn't smile. You called this meeting. You may begin. The council shuffled. The Draxon chair, still trembling from recent defeats, leaned forward. We may have misunderstood your intentions. Frost raised an eyebrow. Which part? Our silence or our survival? The room went colder. A few tried to speak. Some tried to explain. Others tried to justify their allies. But Frost didn't argue. He just waited, and when they finished, he said, Your war is over. Now we talk about your peace. He placed a small cube on the table. It activated a hologram, not of human fleets, not of destroyed planets, but of faces, thousands, maybe millions, humans of all kinds, young.old. Colonists, engineers, peacekeepers. These are the names you erased, the ones your ships stepped over, the ones your histories skipped. A long pause. No one blinked. We do not want revenge, Frost said, but we will not forget. Then the terms appeared, one by one. Not demands, not punishments, just rules. Clear, strong, final. No fleet may enter human border space without request. Human AI networks will now monitor council security. 3 council seats will be reserved for neutral observers, chosen by Earth. No memory will be deleted from war records. Ever again. And the last one. Peace is now a contract. If broken again, there will be no next meeting. Silence returned. Some council members lowered their heads. Others whispered among themselves. But none said no. The vote passed. 2-0. Outside, in the press chambers, thousands of species waited for news. The doors opened. The human delegation walked. Out first, not waving, not smiling, just present. A reporter called out, Ambassador, does this mean humans now lead the council? Frost turned once halfway down the steps and answered, We don't want to lead. We just want to stop cleaning up after the ones who do. Across the stars, the message echoed. On screens. On radios. In whispers. The humans didn't conquer the council. The council surrendered to time, and time had always been human territory. On Earth, in the oldest library, a new page was added to the Book of Peace. Its title? They remembered. The war was over, but no fireworks lit the sky, no parades, no flags, just silence. And somewhere in that silence, a smile still remained. The galaxy had asked for it again and again. Why did the humans smirk? Not when they won, not when they struck, but right at the start. When the first fleet was launched against them, not in fear, not in rage, just a quiet smirk, as if they already knew how it would end. Now, they were ready to explain. A final broadcast was sent from Earth, not live, not dramatic, just a file, open to all. No passwords, no limits. Inside was a video, old footage, grainy, from a camera that hadn't worked in 2,000 years. It showed children, building, digging, training. Not for war, but for what comes after war. A voice began speaking, not famous, not loud, just human. The galaxy called us quiet. They said we forgot how to fight, but they didn't understand. We never forgot. Scenes changed. Humans studying maps, writing, code, teaching survival, growing food in toxic air. We remembered the flames. We remembered the ruin. So we built something different. Not weapons to kill first, but systems that would last longer than fear. More clips. Colonists planting trees, engineers smiling in tunnels, drones lifting cities from the dust, ships hidden beneath oceans, marked only with numbers. We didn't prepare for war. We prepared for when peace would be betrayed. And then, the screen faded to black. One final sentence appeared. We smirked because we had already paid the price, and we were the only ones who remembered what it cost. Across the stars, billions watched in silence. On ships, in homes, in bunkers, even in thrones. No one spoke, because now they understood. Humans didn't love war. They feared it more deeply than anyone, and that's why they prepared. They didn't smile because they were ready to fight. They smiled because they knew no one else was. In a small school on a distant colony, a teacher stood. Before her class, an alien child raised her hand. "Miss, are humans dangerous?" The teacher smiled, not cruelly, not proudly, but honestly. "Only when you forget what they're made of." A new statue was built on neutral ground. Not a soldier, not a weapon, just a simple figure, a human child, planting a flag in the soil, under it carved in every known language. We offered peace. We remembered silence. We returned only when asked. And in the night sky above, the human fleets didn't vanish. They didn't rule. They didn't conquer. They just stood still, watching, like guardians too tired to speak, but too ready to be ignored. Peace had returned, but this time it had a face, and a name, and a memory, and, in every corner of the galaxy, no one laughed at the smirk again.